Welcome back to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt. With me, as always, is my cousin Adam Schmidt. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. I'm very, very good.
That's what I like to hear. I'm phenomenal today. I'm phenomenal because I don't know if you can tell, but the shirts are out. I don't know if you can see them or not. If you're on Facebook Live, take a look at Adam. I don't know if I'm visible or not.
I don't know if you can see.
Hey, yeah, there it is. Check it out. So the shirts are done. Big shout out to Erin Witt. She did a phenomenal job on the shirts.
Very big shout out.
They're finally done. So congratulations to everybody on that.
Congratulations to everyone that is owed a Nosebleeds T-shirt.
That's right, because three of them are made.
We're one step closer to getting them to you.
Listen, hey, it's all about getting a step closer in everything. That's what life is about, right?
It's about the process.
It's about the process.
That's what you got to remember.
That's
it
right.
might take us 2 years to get you a T-shirt. It's about the process.
It's all about the process. So, yeah, there you go. So, welcome back to the Nosebleeds. A little late starting today. We apologize. It was.
I don't apologize.
I apologize. You don't have to. I apologize.
No, you don't have to either.
I was a little late due to some children not wanting to sleep in their beds, but we're good now.
We are good.
We're good.
We're both coming from the Xavier game, too.
Both went to the Xavier game today. Real exciting. Big 28-point win. How about did you see the end of the game? What happened at the end of the game?
No, because I left with 4 minutes to go.
That's what I thought you did. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Adam Schmidt left the game. 4 minutes left. I turn around. Adam's 2 sections over. I turn around to get you. I'm constantly looking over there. A ton of people are leaving, and what happens? I look over. Adam Schmidt has left the building.
See, what had happened was, first of all, I went to the game with a good friend of mine who is a massive, massive University of Cincinnati Bearcat fan.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Xavier, to say the least.
So did you drive with him to the game?
I did not.
Oh, so you drove separately.
I did drive separately. Okay. I see where you're going here.
Okay.
but this is where I'm going.
All right, let's hear it.
So I was, first of all, let me say, and look, I'm a Xavier fan. I would consider myself a Xavier fan.
Yeah.
Not as big as you, but I'm a Xavier fan.
Sure.
That was bad basketball tonight. I don't know how you felt about the way Xavier played. I didn't feel like they played very well at all, and Miami is terrible.
Miami might be one of the worst teams I've seen play basketball in a long time. They got a big dude, number 21, who might be the slowest, biggest hunk of garbage I've ever seen.
They had one guy that was really good, number 14.
Number 14.
I can't remember
the monster
name,
truck. I don't know his name, but he was like a monster truck downstairs.
He was pretty good.
He had Hank go after a couple that just terrible defense. It was rough for as good a defensive game as it was for holding them to whatever we held them to. I mean, it was 50-something. For as good as that was, it was ugly.
They shot the ball terrible. Contested and open shots, they shot the ball terrible.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was part of it. It was not a good basketball game.
I've been to a lot of really bad games. Mm-hmm. Stayed for every second of every one of them.
Yeah.
How about you?
I normally would. Tonight, though, different story. My friend was leaving.
Yep.
I wanted to get home. Normally Wednesday, the time I get home from work about 5:30 until about 9:45 when I leave to come to your house to do this, I am like, that is my cram time. I'm cramming as much information into my small brain as I can get in there. And I kind of bit the bullet tonight. And it sounded like a fun time. I wanted to go to the Xavier game. I wanted to see them play live. I got to see UC play live last week. So now I've gotten to see both teams play live within a week of each other.
So you feel like you got a pretty good take on what's going on.
I feel like I have a better take now. But I saw enough tonight, even though I left with 4 minutes to go. You can give me a hard time. That's totally fine. I deserve it. But I
sent Adam a message, and I said, I can't remember what I said. Something like, hey, tell your buddy to come over after the game since we're going to be here for a little longer, and no response.
Yeah, I didn't get that message until after we had gone to our separate
calls.
Yeah,
I didn't send it until I saw you were gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I waited till you were gone to send that.
On purpose. I see what you did.
Completely on purpose.
I see what you did. Good work.
Mr. Adam Schmidt, who, if you were listening a few episodes ago, swipe left, swipe right, leaving a game early. Adam, big swipe left on that.
I am normally a big swipe left on that. As I get older, I'm a little more, just because time is of the essence. Time is money. So I've got money to make, even though I never leave a game to go to work. So that makes no sense for me.
You got money to make. Time is money. So I guess you had to get here, even though I still made it. No, I did not make it on time. So there you go.
One thing, let me ask you something about that game, though.
Okay, go ahead.
You have spoken about in the past on this podcast about the folks that sit behind you.
Yes.
I was trying to get a glimpse. It was hard. I feel like I picked up.
Today was great.
Were they not there?
Phenomenal. We sat down, and there was two folks sitting behind me, and I looked at my dad, and I said, it's going to be a relaxing game today. And so it was super relaxing because loud, annoying guy was not there.
What were his parents there?
Oh yeah, his parents were there. Yeah, old man and old woman were there, but they were fine. They were good. We've got a little cushion with them. Their daughter was there though.
I thought I saw a young lady.
So their daughter and her husband was there, and this is hilarious. So I told you that this family that sits behind me, I'd hate to grow up in that family. Mm-hmm. They're nothing but pessimistic, just nasty, mean people, and to each other and to everybody on the court. So the old lady always sits directly behind me with a bad lipstick, right? Mm-hmm. She always sits directly behind me, and she was not there today, and I knew that she wasn't there. Her daughter was sitting behind me.
How's her lipstick?
Don't know if she had any. So she's sitting there, and her mom tells her, "That's my seat. I sit there." And she goes, "Mom, I got here before you. I just sat down in the seat that the ticket was in." And they got in a fight about her mom not sitting there. So what did I do at halftime? Stood up to go get my halftime stats and a beer. I said, "What are you doing? You're sitting in the wrong seat." And her daughter was furious. I'm just sitting in the seat that my ticket's on. It was great.
Classic Chris Witt.
And I totally walked away and let them hash it out through halftime.
That's beautiful.
All the way through Simon Says. How was Simon Says?
Simon Says was fine, but I asked you about those people because I felt like I was sitting next to those people. There was a guy sitting next to me.
Yeah.
So to my right was my buddy. To my left was my buddy. To my right was this guy that was a supposed Xavier fan.
Yeah.
That was mad about every single thing that happened throughout the game.
I cannot listen.
Negative the whole time about Xavier.
About Xavier, yeah. Everything is how terrible Xavier's doing. Good rebound, Xavier. I can't listen.
This guy was
a bunch of old hats. It's a bunch of gray hairs.
The least diverse crowd at any sporting event you will find is a Xavier basketball game.
Yes, 100%. I was thinking about that, and actually, so this is something I was thinking about. So, sitting at the Xavier game, I want to know how this is. So, I'm at the Xavier game, and I sit. I'm in row G. So, what is that? 7 rows up. So. All right, so we're 7 rows in the corner, and directly in front of us in the first row, usually old players come, or they give those the seats where kids, that are recruits, things like that. And
Derek Strong, Tyrone Hill.
There's a couple super tall, really young black guys that come walking down the steps, and I looked at my dad and I was like, "Oh, you think that's one of the recruits they got coming in?" Now, is that a racist comment?
Absolutely, it's stereotypical. It's racist. It really says a lot about your character.
Are you being serious?
No,
I want to know that's real. Because if you've ever been to a Xavier game, it's nothing but old men with white hair. Old white men, white hair.
It is.
So, as I said it, I was like, "Oh, man, that doesn't sound very good." But hey,
you know what?
I listen. It is what it is.
It would be great to live in a world that turns into a place that we don't think stereotypically about people, but you know what? The reality is it's there. It is what it is. I'm sure I would have thought the same thing, to be honest with you. And I don't want to think that because well,
sitting right next to the guys was Maurice McAfee, previous Xavier player.
Okay.
Who was probably one of 13 black guys at the Cintas
entire
Center
arena
that wasn't on the court.
One of them I saw up close and personal, Byron Larkin. I was sitting just about underneath the
right underneath where I saw it.
When I walked in,
if you would have been there till the end of the game, you would have actually saw Travis Steele as well. But you didn't stay till the end of the game. You left with 4 minutes left.
Guilty as charged. Boy, I mean, I really feel like I feel like you need to give me a penance. Do I need to say 10 Hail Marys tonight, and 10 Our Fathers?
You left the game early tonight. For leaving the game early, you have to say 10 Dick Vitales and 13 Brad Rafferty's.
Bill Rafferty.
Bill Rafferty's. Brad Rafferty. Did you see Brad Redford? Did you see Bill Rafferty's brother that was reffing the game tonight? You didn't notice him? Oh, yeah, 100%. Oh,
did he look just like him?
Poofy, white hair.
I mean, I saw that guy. I just didn't notice.
I think he looks just like
you. You were a lot closer to the court than I was. But, I didn't see. That was the other thing, is that guy that was unhappy about every single thing Xavier did also was, thought every call was the wrong call.
Oh, I hate that. Look, I said this before. The guy next to me, this guy, I love him to death. He's way better than the guys behind me. But every time Xavier's on offense, it's a defensive foul against Miami. Every time Xavier's on defense, it's an offensive foul on Miami. He's hooking him. That's a foul. Every time. There's a foul in every play. It's never been against Xavier, ever.
Yeah. This whole thing came up because you asked me how I liked Simon Says at halftime.
That's right.
And I've seen him 2 or 3 times now at other sporting events or whatever. He does it all the time. As soon as this guy comes out, the guy next to me, I hate this guy. He even hated the Simon Says guy before he even started.
The halftime show before it ever went off.
Man.
Oh goodness. That's welcome to the lower section at a Xavier Musketeer game. Upper section, way better.
Hey,
just not as good a view. It is what it is.
Go Muskies.
That's exactly right. Speaking of Go Muskies, we'll get into college basketball here a little bit later. So today on the Nosebleed Sports Podcast, like we said, we were both at the game, but we got some things to go over. So we got some NFL, we got some college football. There's some big things going on in college football. We are coming up in championship week, which is huge. So we'll talk about that for a little bit. And then I also want to get into the Bengals. We'll start off with the Bengals. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's start off with a swipe left or swipe right for you.
Okay.
Marvin Lewis is the head coach of the Bengals next year.
Swipe left. And let me further that by saying I have no reason to say this. The organization's given me no reason to believe this, but I just have this gut feeling I just felt for the last couple of days. Marvin Lewis is going to be fired before the end of this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fired before the end of the year.
Hot take, Adam.
That's impressive. I don't think that'll happen because the ownership of this team just does not play by those kind of things where they're not going to fire somebody in the middle of the year.
Right.
However,
and I don't think that's the right move anyway. I just have that feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got a great replacement. They got Hugh Jackson sitting on the bench, right?
Marvin Lewis Jr.
Oh my God. Could there be a worse scenario for the Bengals right now than they fire Marvin Lewis and sign Hugh Jackson to like a 3-4 year contract?
People are already talking about it. People are already upset about it because they're almost expecting it to happen. Because
I'll tell you what's going to happen. The Bengals are riddled with injury, okay? The Bengals had a really good team. They started off on fire and played well. They're riddled with injury, and they are going to use that as an excuse to re-sign Marvin for another 2 years. This team was doing great before they were injured. We get an injury-free season, and Marvin's got these guys going. I cannot take it. I can't take it another year. I try my hardest to be good with the Marvin Lewis thing and try to be positive. You know I'm a positive vibes kind of guy.
You are.
I'm starting to lose it on this Bengals team, man. My 11-5 is done. I mean, it's done. 10-6 is the next possibility, and God knows that ain't gonna happen.
Well, I don't know what they're gonna do. Honestly, I think they should. I mean, I think they should get rid of Marvin Lewis. I think everybody pretty much agrees with that. And I'm with you. Like I said, I don't think they should get rid of him in the middle of the season. That's not going to solve anything. Let him earn some money for the rest of the year, because replacing him with anybody on the planet in the middle of this season, the way this team is right now, and you mentioned the injuries, they've had bad injuries. Now they've had the worst one of all, which they lost AJ Green, which was the worst one. First they lost tight end
Tyler
Eifert, thank you. And then which was the biggest loss. And then they lost AJ Green for a while. That was an even bigger loss. Now they lost Andy Dalton for the rest of the season.
Dalton's gone for the year. We got Jeff Driscoll stepping in the starting line. I'm okay with that. I mean, the guy's got the second best 40 time as a quarterback or something like that. He was
right?
a 4.5 40 he ran. Well, I think LeVar Jackson's the only one who's been faster than him, or something like that. I think I read that somewhere. Anyway, so maybe we get some movement, a little something different. Maybe try to run some kind of option. Yeah. Put him, Gio, and Joe Mixon out there at the same time. Be nice to see, and just let's have some fun. This is it.
Mix it up, play around a little bit.
If you're AJ Green, are you trying to get out of here now? AJ Green's not a guy to demand things. Are you trying to get out of Cincinnati?
AJ Green made a statement today in an interview and said, "The Bengals drafted me, and from that moment, I wanted to be here for my entire career. I am not the type of guy that wants to move. I want to stay in one place my entire career, and I still intend on doing that." He's saying that right now. He's always a guy that says the right things and seems like a good guy and stuff. He seems like he legitimately would want to do that. Losing does some crazy things to your head, though.
Losing makes people do crazy things, man.
I hope to see him stay. I don't know if Andy Dalton's going to be around that much longer. Everybody still wants his head.
I still don't mind Andy Dalton. He's just an average quarterback. If there's something better out there, then go get it. But if there's not something better out there, what are you going to do?
I mean, couldn't there possibly have been a better option in the draft the last couple of years?
In the spot that the Bengals draft at? Has there been?
Well, I
don't know that there's been anybody where the Bengals draft, if there's been anybody in those positions.
There may have been, but it's kind of circled back around now where quarterbacks are being drafted a lot higher again. For a while, it was people didn't want to draft quarterbacks high, and then I think the last couple of years
Dalton was a second round pick, and
that's pretty high actually.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there somebody better? Has there been somebody better than Andy Dalton that's gone in a spot where the Bengals could have picked him up?
You don't really know for sure because anybody you draft,
sure.
I mean, it's just a projection anyway.
So what do? Do you tank the rest of the year and try to go after a quarterback? I mean, I don't. At this point in time, if I'm AJ Green, and all of a sudden you find out that your team's going after a new quarterback, you got about 3 prime years of your life left. Is that what you want? Is that what you want to spend the next 2 years bringing the next 2, probably the 2 best years of what could be the best years of your career, bringing up a rookie quarterback? No, man. You either want to get out, or if it were me, I'd want to get out. Otherwise, I'd say stick with Dalton. At least I know this dude.
But if it means potentially winning more, I mean, that's the reason that they would draft a new quarterback, because if they feel like that somebody else would give them a better chance. Look,
AJ Green has said multiple times, I want to be a Hall of Famer. Yep. I want to be the greatest there is. You're not going to be that with with 2 of your best years coming up with a rookie quarterback.
You're not going to be that no matter what anyway, because Jerry Rice and Randy Moss are a lot better than AJ Green was. But
okay, but not the best, but to be a Hall of Famer.
To be a Hall of Famer, right. He's a good enough wide receiver that he's going to have some success with just about any quarterback. Now, you can have a terrible quarterback in there, and yes, your numbers will go down as a wide receiver for sure. But you need a decent offensive line. You need a decent running game. You need at least one other pretty decent receiver for your numbers to be what they really could be. And you really need all of those things.
Well, they got the wide receiver and they got the running back. So now it's just a matter of having a quarterback that can stay healthy, and I don't know, an offensive line that can help out. I mean, Price is getting beat up How long does it take to go back? What was the guy's name who when Price got hurt, when Billy Price got hurt in the beginning of the year, and they brought the guard in to play center? He's been the best center we've had. Okay, the best center on this team is a guard. It's time to just leave him. It's time to just bite the bullet and put him in there. I mean, it all comes down to coaching. It's going to come. We need it's coaching needs to be redone. It's got to be stripped down. This team, it's been too long. I hate saying it because I keep saying, hey, Marvin's all right. I'm an excuse guy, I guess, but it's done. I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't know who you hire, but I'm done with it. It's not Hugh Jackson either.
It's not Hugh Jackson.
God bless America. If they hire Hugh Jackson, listen, I'm not a guy to go on a limb and say crazy stuff. But I might be done if they fire Marvin. I would rather them rehire Marvin Lewis than fire him and hire Hugh Jackson.
I think I agree with that. I think you're right about that. Because it wouldn't be. How different is it? It just wouldn't be that different. At least I don't think anybody expects.
There's no different.
Yeah. Here's the great thing for me about this whole thing. You're saying you might be done. I was done years ago.
Yeah.
I stopped being emotionally invested in the Bengals a long time ago because of because they were the worst team in professional sports for like 12 years in a row. At that time, through the 90s, I kind of just gave up being upset or disappointed, or it was just, I'm more happy when the Bengals are winning. I want to see them win, and it's more fun to watch, and I get into it more. When they're losing, though, I got rid of that emotional investment a long time ago where if they lose, okay. I didn't see one snap of the game against Cleveland. By the way, they lost the game against Cleveland. In
case anybody didn't know, they lost the Cleveland game.
To the Cleveland Browns, who had 3 wins before that.
Lost $10 on that.
Did you?
Yeah, lost $10 to a guy up in Columbus.
Okay. Browns fan, I'm assuming?
Yeah, Browns fan.
A lot of Cleveland fans in Columbus, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for your loss.
It's okay. $10 down the drain. Down the drain. Thanks a lot, Marv.
Well,
thanks, Marv.
So you lost that bet. We've got another bet though going.
We do.
NFL wide.
NFL wide. We make picks every week. We go 3 picks against the spread. Currently, Adam is smoking my behind. It is bad.
It's my favorite song.
I am getting whooped in this, but that's okay. We still got a few weeks left. I don't know, 5 weeks, I guess, left in the season. So there's opportunity out there. I'm probably not going to win. So have you come up with something for this bet? Because now I'm just going to have to do whatever it is. What are your options that you came up with?
I told you the other day that I was going to give you some options. One of them would be if you beat me, if you make a miraculous comeback and beat me,
yeah,
I have to pay for your shoulder surgery. Okay. I have to pay for your shoulder surgery.
I might get it done.
For the people who are watching on Facebook Live, you can see
I didn't even think about
the man
that.
is sitting down, talking into a microphone, and it's
just the awkward angle that I have to touch this iPad. I don't know what it is, but whatever I have to do with my arm here, it is excruciating.
I just wish that Mr. Miyagi was still alive to come in and do that magic massage thing that he did to Daniel's shoulder.
Yes.
I wish that he was here to do that for you, or I wish that he had trained me.
I wish he trained you.
And I
wish it was Mr. Miyagi. I wish Mr. Miyagi was here.
So
I mean, I'd be happy if he trained you, but I'm way more excited if Mr. Miyagi was the one doing the shoulder.
If he was here and he could do that, I'd have him do full body massage on me, especially my hamstrings. I'm having all kinds of problems with my legs. We're just a couple of old, broken down dudes, aren't we?
I'm a phenomenal hamstring massager.
Are you?
Yeah. If you need some help, I got you.
So is the.
I'm not kidding.
Do I?
I'll warm my hands up. I'll get some hot stones going, brother. I got some
stones?
smelling salts and all kinds of stuff.
You wear that Speedo?
I 100%. I'll even oil myself up before I oil your hamstrings up.
Okay. Now we might.
All right. Now it's getting weird.
We might be talking about something.
Might be. All right. So anyway, okay. What's the bet?
Okay. I told you I was going to give you some options. To be honest with you, I've only come up with one so far.
All right. What is the option?
If I win, I get control of your. So the football season will be over. So
Correct.
We are in fantasy leagues throughout the year. Football, basketball, and baseball together. We play against each other in fantasy leagues. We are in a fantasy basketball league right now, which has another 3/4 of the season to go. At the end of this football season, if I have made more correct picks than you have, I get creative control of the name of your fantasy basketball team for the rest of the season.
Okay, and that's it?
Yes, I get to name your fantasy basketball team anything I want, and I get to change it at any time I want.
You've got a look on your face like you're so excited about this.
The possibilities are endless.
I'm 100% okay with that. That doesn't bother me one bit.
I know, because I couldn't say anything to embarrass you.
No, it's like that's.
And I'm the opposite.
Cool. So what happens if I win?
If you win, I just told you I'll pay for your shoulder surgery. I can't afford that. That can't be it.
I'm getting beat that bad. He's not even scared.
I couldn't possibly afford that, but and also I don't know how that would work with our insurances and stuff. I think I have decent insurance, but yours is probably better. I don't know.
No, my insurance isn't very good, but I'm sure even though you have decent insurance, they're probably not going to pay for your cousin's shoulder surgery.
You know what?
If we were to go get married or something and be some kind of cuz-uncle or something like that.
And my cuz-uncle.
A cuz-a-foo or something.
If we got married, we would be a cuz-uncle. That's absolutely what we would be. So that might be, we might have to form a domestic partnership or something like that. I don't know how Erin would feel about that, but
she'd probably be fine with it.
Hey,
she's got 3 kids. She's good.
What's another person in the house, right?
Are you moving in with me?
Oh, if we're having a domestic partnership, we gotta be able to prove it to the state. You ever see I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry?
Yes, great movie.
Well,
yeah,
it'd be just like that.
100%. All right, I'm down. That sounds good. I'm good with that.
All to get you on my insurance so I can pay for your shoulder surgery because
from the phenomenal comeback that I'm about to make in the picks, which we're going to do right now. Adam, start us off. Who's your 3 this week?
First, let me talk about last week.
Oh,
we were both
about how terrible we were.
We were both 2-1.
Oh, not bad.
That might be the first time, maybe since like the first week or something like that.
That's a decent week. Too bad we were both 2-1.
We were both 2-1, which brings. This is my favorite part, is saying what the record is.
How bad am I getting beat?
What a jerk move.
How bad am I getting beat?
All right, I'm 19-14 on the year. You're 9-24.
Gotcha.
After the 2-1. My picks this week, okay?
Okay. What? Say that record one more time.
I'm 19-14.
Good
you
work.
are 9-24.
Wow. Got ways to go.
So you're going to start it this week.
All right, let's do it.
Here are my 3 incorrect picks for this week. The Denver Broncos are at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, they are.
The Cincinnati Bengals are a 4.5 point
You're taking
underdog.
Denver.
I am taking Denver. The Cleveland Browns, who are coming off a big win over the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a big win for them.
Are at the Houston Oilers. I'm just going to call them the Oilers.
Sure.
They're the Texans, but I'm going to call them the Oilers. The Oilers are a 6-point favorite. I'm taking the Houston Oilers / Texans.
Okay.
The Kansas City Chieftains are playing in Oakland against the Raiders.
Yeah. You're taking
Kansas City is a 15-point favorite.
Are you taking the Chiefs?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Are you taking all favorites?
I am. Yeah. I'm taking all favorites.
Good for you. All right, so I'm gonna go against that. But first thing I'm gonna say is, did you see the interception at the end of the game in the Cleveland Cincinnati game?
No, I left with 4 minutes to go in that game.
Okay, so I didn't watch the game, much of it, because I turned it off because I was annoyed. So
you turned the game off early?
Hey, hey, I'm at home. I got things to do, brother. If I'm at the game, I'm there all day.
So you have things to do.
Oh,
I don't have any things to do.
Do we want to get into this?
No, I don't want to get into this because I'm totally kidding. You should absolutely turn the game off early.
Exactly. All right. So anyway, what I was going to say is, so at the end of the game, there's an interception. Cleveland picks the ball off, and this guy could have easily ran for, 30 yards without being touched. Instead, he stops, takes 2 steps out of bounds. Hugh Jackson's right in front of him and hands Hugh Jackson the ball.
Oh,
Best move I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh.
So clutch. Oh, it was the greatest. I wish I knew, and I don't have the guy's name in front of me. It was such a great move. Hugh Jackson obviously fired from Cleveland. Baker Mayfield had all kinds of things to say about him, and this dude picks it off, and what does he do?
Hands it to Hugh.
Steps off the field, doesn't even try to run anywhere back, just runs off the field directly at Hugh Jackson, hands him the ball.
The kids on Twitter and Instagram would hashtag that savage. That's what they would do. It's a savage move.
That is a savage move.
That's honestly really funny.
Oh my God, it was so great.
I kind of love that.
I do love it. I was cracking
really
up.
Funny.
Phenomenal move. So big ups to that guy. Good work. Hugh just tapped him on the head, gave him that aboy. It was pretty funny. Yeah. Same thing he tried to do with Baker
I'll see you at dinner in a few minutes.
See you at dinner, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Oakland. Plus what'd you say it was, 15.5?
15.
15, that's just way too many points. I'm taking Oakland. I don't know why. Mostly because I need to make points up. I need to make ground up. I'm also going to take the Cleveland Browns +6 in Houston.
Okay, so those
I was gonna
the
go,
two opposite.
Last time I did this, it didn't work. So I'm going to take 2 of yours and 1 other.
Because you can't possibly take the Bengals.
I can't take the Bengals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Rams -10.
Okay. Rams -10
against Detroit. There you go. All right. So sounds like I'm probably going to have my fantasy basketball team named Chris's Speedos or something. I don't know. Adam, there's no way. I just want to know what Adam comes up with. I hope it's so funny and embarrassing. I mean, for me, I hope it is. But anyway, we'll see how he does.
I'm getting excited. I mean, I'm just going to spend most of my free time in my entire life for the next 5 weeks coming up with just a list, because I could change it every single day.
Every day.
And it's going to be really annoying because you're going to have to log in and change it to whatever I tell you it has to be.
I'll do it. I'll give you my login.
Unless you give me your login.
I'll give you the login. You jump in.
But if you got to trust me, because I could go in there and change your team too. I mean,
there's no way you would do that.
Yeah, you're right.
You couldn't do that if you wanted to. You couldn't do it if you wanted to.
Couldn't cheat.
No. All right, so let's get into some swipe left, swipe right. What do you think?
Okay.
Good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right, let's do it. All right, I'm going to start off. Okay. We already did one swipe left, swipe right. Before we get into that, this is the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. As always, Adam Schmidt. I'm Chris Witt. T-shirts are in. If you're on Facebook Live or on YouTube, you can see we finally got the T-shirts. Aaron Witt, thank you so much for taking care of that. The beautiful girl at My 3Ps Crafting or something. I don't know what the name of her company is, but it's something like that.
Oh,
so
she has a company.
My 3Ps. Yeah, she's a big crafter.
Nice.
Yeah, she crafted your shirt. Looks good on you, by the way.
It looks excellent because she made it excellently.
Yeah,
it doesn't look good because it's on me. It's an excellent
shirt. So anyway, let's do this. Swipe left, swipe right. I don't know how to put this, but so, buddy, I'm just going to ask you the question.
Okay.
So, buddy of mine, we both went to the Xavier game today.
We did.
Buddy of mine is a Xavier friend of the show, Joe Leonard. Friend of the show.
Joe Leonard, excellent friend of the show.
Excellent friend of the show. He is at the game, and his wife, who also has season tickets with him, obviously they have 2, is a Miami grad.
Yes, I did know that.
Yes. So, swipe left, swipe right to her wearing Miami garb to the Xavier game.
They don't sit in the first row, do they?
No.
Okay, because I saw a guy and a girl in the first row at the game. Guy had a Xavier shirt on. Girl had a Miami shirt on. So they weren't the only ones like that.
There you go.
Absolutely swipe right to wearing whatever school you went to, even if it's at. Look, if you're a UC fan, if my friend would have worn a UC shirt,
but you married into Xavier season tickets and you become a Xavier fan and you root for Xavier every game.
every game except when they play your team.
I'm okay with it. I'm just kidding. I'm good with it too.
I definitely
poor Joe.
swipe
I
right.
felt bad for him today. Swipe divorce. That's what he says.
No way.
No. The thing that got me was she also sent out a picture of her 2 kids in Miami garb. Now that's going a little far.
That's a good move
you
by her,
split
though.
1 and 1. You want to split 1 and 1? Go ahead. Both of them. It's a little too far for me.
You ask them which ones they want to wear.
Okay, well, they're like 2 and newborn, so.
Well, then you tell them you're wearing Miami stuff.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
I don't have anything.
You don't have any?
I don't have anything.
No swipe left, swipe right.
Because I was so excited about your big one that I'm not sure if you remember or not.
I do.
But okay, then,
I do.
Then you go ahead with that one because that's what I was excited about.
Is it the garbage? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay. So swipe left, swipe right
On clean garbage.
on cleaning your garbage before you throw it away.
Swipe absolutely right.
How in God's name does a man go through life cleaning his garbage before he throws it away? Go ahead.
Give me an example.
All right, so here's the example. So here's what happens. We got a friend here, my friend Adam, who is the co-host of the Nosebleed Sports Podcast, which you can catch on Castbox and YouTube and SoundCloud and Apple Podcast. That's you, by the way. So I understand. Last week we're sitting down, we're doing some posting the podcast out there and getting things going. And Adam tells me that he rinses out his milk jugs before he throws them away, and he does not recycle.
How did that come up? Do you remember how it came up?
I have no idea how it came up, but it did. So he doesn't recycle. He just rinses them out for absolutely no reason.
We were somewhere. Weren't we somewhere and I did that or something?
No, we were sitting at my table. We were sitting at the table in my house.
Yeah. Upstairs, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like has to be a pretty common thing.
I don't know. Who cleans their garbage?
But it's not all garbage. It's if you have a milk carton, you have that residual milk in there at the very bottom on the sides or whatever.
Do you put the cap on before you throw it away?
Yes.
You don't have to worry about any of that.
You do. You might though.
Do you put your garbage in a garbage can?
I do.
With a lid?
In my house. No, it doesn't have a lid. No, not all garbage cans have lids. I mean,
you keep your garbage can in your house and then take it straight from inside your house to the street?
To the garbage can outside.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. The garbage can outside.
Uh-huh.
That's outside. What do you worry about that thing smelling for?
Oh, well, I mean, if like it takes me a week to fill up my garbage can inside. Excuse me, inside. I don't have a cough button.
I have enough garbage in this area that we're sitting in to fill a garbage bag up now.
If it's anything other than water that was in the container, it needs to be cleaned out. Needs to be cleaned out because otherwise you have.
Dude,
if it's pop, if it's soda, if you will, that'll get sticky in there. You can get bugs. You can get bees.
Yeah. You got a beehive in your house.
Raccoons. You can get aardvarks, wildebeests.
I heard the aardvarks are bad this time of year. They'll get in your
house.
You're a big ice cream guy, right?
Oh yeah.
You love ice cream.
Oh yeah.
After you're done with a tub of ice cream, you rinse it out before you throw it away?
First of all, tub is accurate. I eat it by the tub.
That's how I eat it.
In one sitting. Buddy.
Yeah, 100%. There's no other way to do it.
Thank you.
Someday you're going to be fat. Oh, I can't wait till it happens.
I'm getting there. I'm starting it a little bit.
You are not fat.
I'm getting there. The ice cream container is a little bit different.
How's that any different from a milk carton?
It really isn't.
How is it any different? I don't understand.
You know what's different, I think, is I clean the container out so well with my spoon that
drink all the milk.
Sometimes I do. Here's the other thing. So if I get like a pint or whatever, I'll take the lid off the pint and sit it there, and you get some ice cream on the inside of the pint, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll scrape off that and
the top of the lid,
and eat that or whatever. But sometimes it's just a little tiny bit. It's not even where it just sits there. So I'm done with the ice cream. Clean that out real well with the spoon. And I go to put the lid back on to throw the container in the garbage can. Well, that's kind of the little tiny bit that was in there is kind of melted a little bit. So because I don't want to flip the lid upside down and have the ice cream drip onto the container, onto the floor or anything like that while I'm putting it on, then I clean that out. I clean the lid out.
So you clean the lid off.
Clean the lid off.
And
then I put the lid on and put that and put that in the garbage can.
But you don't clean the container of ice cream out.
You know,
but you rinse out your milk jugs.
Yeah, that's a different smell, man. It's just the smell of residual milk. Holy smokes, that's a foul smell.
Where are we? I don't even know where we're at right now.
Telling you, you're gonna get ants. You're gonna get
aardvarks. You're gonna get llamas.
You're gonna get cobras. You'll get llamas. Llamas are a big one.
You ever been bitten by a cobra?
No, but I just listened to Joe Rogan's podcast with Jake the Snake Roberts on from the other day, and he talked a lot about his snakes.
Oh, he got bit all the time.
And the big one, I don't know if you remember, the big one when he actually made it bite Macho Man in the ring.
Yes.
If you remember that, he tied him up in the ropes, got the snake out, put it up to Macho Man's arm, and the snake clamped on and was like, you could see the snake like tightening its grip and pumping its fangs onto Macho Man. And then it was on there for a couple minutes. And you could see a stream of blood coming from the snake's mouth and Macho's arm.
Yeah.
And I said Macho like it's his first name. And and Jake eventually tried to get the snake off of his arm, and he was wiggling the snake and it wouldn't let go. He was pulling trying to wiggle the snake
making
off.
It 100 times worse.
Yeah, digging the fangs into Macho Savage's arm. It was into his veins that are already sticking out 6 inches anyway.
Macho Man, listen, Randy Savage did not feel any of that.
What a
that dude was so stoked up on
everything.
On everything.
That was most of the podcast too. They were on so many drugs.
From dope to steroids and every single thing in between. Those dudes were busted up. Hey, real quick, before we go any further, just saw that on Facebook Live, Aaron Witt has just joined us. Thank you so much. I want to say the t-shirts are phenomenal. We appreciate you getting those done for us. Adam just looks phenomenal in that t-shirt. You know what you look like? You look like you could be Macho Man Randy Savage's little brother.
I would love that in some ways and probably hate that in some ways.
How great would it be to be
Macho Man's voice is like
Macho Man Randy Savage.
See that?
I feel like
most of that was pretty good.
I feel like he had a huge dump he was taking all the time when he was talking.
Yeah. And Jake the Snake actually talks like that too, a little bit different. And Macho had this certain accent that I think only he's the only one in the world that had it.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, and it was it was with his R's mostly. Jake the Snake. First of all, Macho Man's voice is one of my favorite.
100%.
One of my favorite things for people to imitate. That's one of my favorite imitations. Jake the Snake did the best Macho Man I've ever heard.
All right, real quick. All right. Here you go. I'm Gene Okerlund. Ow. I'm Gene Okerlund.
Gene Okerlund's shoulder was always killing him.
I'm Gene Okerlund, and you're Randy Savage.
No.
No, give it to me.
No.
Come on, Mean Gene.
I want to be Mean Gene.
I'll do it too, but I want your
Mean
best.
Gene's the toughest son of a gun you'll ever.
I want your best Macho Man impression first, and then I'll give you one.
I have no Macho impression. I have no Macho Man impression.
I'm not doing one.
You know why?
Wait,
because I'm not Macho.
You don't have to be macho to give him the Macho Man. Randy Savage is coming after you, brother.
See, it's not as good as that, so I'm not going to waste my time.
There's no way. I guarantee you that I can just see it in your beard that your Macho Man is better than mine.
We have Macho had a beard.
Hey, Savage had a good one.
Sometimes
I
it
love
looked
that
like
you
it was.
keep calling him Macho. His name is like you're on a first name. You're on a first nickname basis with
I feel.
him. We're not on first name basis. Can't call him Randy. I'm gonna call him Macho. Not Macho Man.
Randy
Not
was
Macho
his middle
Man,
name.
just Macho.
Randy was his middle name.
Oh goodness. Oh, the Macho Man. All right, so
I don't know how we get into that, but clean garbage. I like to clean my garbage because I like everything to be clean.
oh, that's terrible.
Even my garbage.
Clean garbage.
Rinse stuff out before you throw it away, whether you recycle
Just
it or
like
not.
any other weirdo in this world does. Rinse things out before you throw them away.
Hey, cleanliness is next to godliness. Isn't that the term? Isn't that the phrase?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Then in that case, then I'm as far away from my man as you can get. God love him.
No way. God love who? God?
God love God. God love him.
God
right?
love God love
God love God. God love Macho.
God love Macho.
The Macho Man.
Oh,
God
he's
love
got.
Macho.
Hey, they're up there. They're up there wrestling. I'm sure all the time. Because look, Jesus looked like a professional wrestler.
Oh, 100%. I'm pretty sure that if you go back in time, first off, Jesus 100% probably looked like the scariest Hindu-looking wrestler. What's the guy's name?
Well, I was talking about the incorrect depiction that everyone knows, that just like the white guy with long brown
hair with a cool beard.
Because that's what a wrestler back in the day looked like.
Oh, I was thinking of like
in reality, he was a brown person most likely because he was from the Middle East. I mean, that's a real thing.
He was 100% brown.
And all the depictions that we've seen of him over our lives are most likely incorrect.
So who wins in a fight? Living like real life, not heaven Jesus, but real life Jesus or Macho Man Randy Savage. I want to know right now.
Real life Jesus, he could perform miracles.
So he can have a party keep going by turning this into some wine.
Yep.
But that don't make he's beating the Macho.
He could.
What's he gonna do to Macho Man?
This is what he can do.
Was he gonna walk on water over top of him?
He can do that if they're in a water match. I've never seen a water match. An underwater match. Why wouldn't they do that?
If there was an underwater match, then Jesus would probably lose because he spends all his time walking on it.
He can breathe underwater.
How do you know? He's never been under there. He just
First
walks
of all,
on it.
he was a fisherman. Second of all,
once again, above water all the time.
Second of all, fish are never above water.
No, the fisherman is.
But he could breathe underwater.
Is he a fisherman that
because he
was Jesus a grabbed with your hands fisherman? Like he dove into the water?
He could.
Probably. You're probably
I mean,
right.
did they have fishing poles back then?
Do you think they called him Jesus?
I
feel like that's a Mexican term.
That's a Spanish-speaking term.
Sorry, I said Mexican.
They speak Spanish in Mexico.
Sure they do.
And he was Jewish.
He was a straight Jew.
He was from the Middle East. So, whatever they speak there in Bethlehem and Nazareth and the like, whatever they speak there as Jewish.
What was my question?
People, they would speak. Jewish people speak Hebrew.
Hebrew. There you go. So is that the question I asked?
Speak Hebrew. I don't think you asked that at all. No, who would win in a wrestling match?
Yes, that's what
between Jesus and Macho.
So who wins? Macho Man Randy Savage or Jesus?
Jesus would have every cobra biting Macho Man.
So all of a sudden, this is a tag team with
not a tag team.
Jesus and Jake the Snake Roberts against teaming up against Macho Man Randy Savage.
Jake
Where
has
did the
nothing
snakes
to do
come
with it.
from? Where did the snakes come from?
They're all over the place over there. Where they're wrestling.
Over in the eastern middle side of things.
Over in the Middle East.
Over where there's a lot of sand.
In Nazareth. Macho Man of Nazareth.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem. I'm telling you,
Jesus of Nazareth versus Macho of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth wins.
Macho of the Cincinnati Reds.
Macho, the Cincinnati Reds. So
he was he was drafted by the Cincinnati
you're right.
Reds.
You're right.
Yeah,
he was.
Randy Savage.
I always forget that.
I never forget that. That's the
I
first
know.
thing. When I think of Randy Savage, I automatically think of the Cincinnati
Reds, of course. Why did you not? When I'm going to Reds Fest
They
this
say
weekend,
the
by
dude
the way.
was a nutcase, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
he was an absolute.
watch one of his promos.
nutcase.
I mean, he probably wasn't as weird as the Ultimate Warrior, but he was a weirdo.
Oh, could you? Okay.
Weirdo.
Okay. Tag team match. Ultimate Warrior and Randy Macho Man Savage versus Jesus and Hulk Hogan.
Jesus and Hulk Hogan wipes the floor with those guys. And I love the Ultimate Warriors is like
Ultimate
one of
Warrior
my
is
top
the greatest
three favorite.
He's my top. It's number one.
Your
There's
top?
nobody better.
You
were the Ultimate Warrior for Halloween one year, weren't you?
Probably. I don't even remember, but probably. I think I dressed up as the Ultimate Warrior several days that were not Halloween when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, you just took like some thread and wrapped it around your biceps.
Absolutely.
Did you ever have trouble? You know, I always had trouble finding both sides of my bicep. He never had an issue.
No, that man was ripped,
freakishly strong. Okay, so let's see if we can find a way to navigate past Jesus and Macho Man. Somehow that came out of clean garbage. Not sure where that came from, but Nosebleed Sports Podcast. Let's get into some sports. College football championship week coming up. This is huge.
Well, first of all, pro wrestling is a sport, but anyway, college football. College football is championship week.
It is a sport. It is a sport. And no, Mary Rupewit, we did not forget about Goldberg. Goldberg, without a doubt, is in the top 5 all-time wrestler. You know, the only guy that just blows smoke out his nose and breathes in the fireworks or whatever. But it's still, there's still no. He couldn't take Ultimate Warrior.
Who's next?
Who's next? I have a T-shirt.
I have
a Who's Next T-shirt.
Who's next? I had in high school. This is how.
Oh, Goldberg was I was huge Goldberg. I bought my dad a Goldberg T-shirt for Christmas.
That's the best. That's the best Christmas gift he's ever received. I guarantee that.
I don't think he's ever worn it.
I had a
not because he didn't want to, but because I'm pretty sure it's in a frame.
Well, okay. I was gonna say if he still has it and he doesn't want to wear it, give it to me. I'll wear it right now. I'll wear the Nosebleeds T-shirt today and tomorrow, and Friday probably, and maybe Saturday. And then Sunday, I will wear the Goldberg T-shirt.
There you go.
I had a Goldberg bumper sticker that said, "This vehicle is protected by Goldberg." If that's not the nerdiest thing I've ever done.
If you come near this vehicle is going to spear you.
Bill Goldberg played college football for the Georgia Bulldogs.
He sure did. Speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, number 4. Well played in the NCAA playoff rankings. So here's what we got. So going into championship week, you got Alabama 1, you got Clemson 2, you got Notre Dame 3, Georgia 4. That's your 4 in right now. Now Alabama and Georgia have to play each other, and so right away one of those two teams loses. We'll get into that. Then you have Oklahoma 5, and you have Ohio State 6. Now,
after their blowout of then number 4, Michigan.
Beat the brakes off of Michigan. So, Michigan drops down to 7, I believe. They're out of it. They're done. If Alabama wins and beats Georgia, it probably knocks Georgia down if Oklahoma or Ohio State wins. Now, if Oklahoma and Ohio State wins, what happens here? Is this another case of Ohio State jumping another Big 12 team to get into the playoffs? Because
they will both have one loss, correct?
Yes, that would be correct. So they both have one loss. Oklahoma, who is playing Texas, I believe, who is their one loss that they have. So if they come out and just play a close game and win, and then Ohio State beats the brakes off of Northwestern, do they jump them again? Is this another 6 jumping 5, even though they both win? Because obviously how much you win by does matter, because Ohio State did it a couple years ago when they jumped TCU to get into the playoffs. when they beat Wisconsin 59-0 or whatever it was. So is this that opportunity? Ohio State has an opportunity to sneak into the Final Four again after the season that they've had with everything surrounding Urban Meyer. They have an opportunity to get in here.
They do. This is a really tough call, and it is probably going to matter the difference. If Oklahoma wins by a point, if they kick a field goal at the buzzer and win by a point, and Ohio State wins by 35 over Northwestern after beating Michigan by, what was it, like 62-39 or something like that. It's tough because then you got to think about who their losses were too. They both have one loss. You already said Oklahoma's was to Texas.
Yep.
Do you remember how bad that was by any chance?
No, it was like a 3-point game. It was 47-45, something like that.
Man, such a high-scoring game. And I believe Ohio State's loss was to Purdue.
By 29. They lost
points.
49-20. Ohio State got you talk about getting the brakes beat off you. They got their brakes beat off them by Purdue. This is at a different time in the season. Mm-hmm. This is 5 games ago. So you got to take that in consideration, even though they don't, or maybe they do. I don't even know what these committees take into consideration at any point in time anymore. But either way, you got beat by an unranked, bad Purdue team.
You know what? If they both
win,
by
bad Purdue team, I'm talking this team they were 4-3 at the time.
I believe if they both win, if Ohio State beats Northwestern by 45 points or something like that, okay, then you got a problem. If it's less than that,
you think 45 is the magic number?
Not necessarily.
Or is
45.
30 the magic number? Or is 25?
I don't know if there
let's
is
say
one.
let's say Oklahoma plays a close game. First off, the whole thing just comes down to the Alabama-Georgia game. Alabama has to beat Georgia. Alabama beats Georgia. Georgia's and Oklahoma and Ohio State both win, then we're not talking about this. Or we are talking about this. If Alabama loses, it's going to be Clemson 1, Georgia 2, Notre Dame 3, Alabama 4. Alabama's not getting knocked out. They're keeping Alabama in this no matter what happens. They can get beat by 50. It's not going to happen. Right. But they're not Alabama's not going out. Notre Dame's already in. Mm-hmm. They haven't lost. They're in.
And they don't play a championship.
They don't play a championship game independent. They're in. Notre Dame's in. Clemson 12-0. There's always opportunities for whatever they got going on. But this is I think Ohio State sneaks into this thing.
Clemson's undefeated.
Yes. I think Ohio State sneaks into this thing.
If Clemson loses, they stay in, right?
No, not necessarily. I don't think so. Clemson, because Clemson plays Pitt. If you lose to Pitt,
okay,
then that knocks you out. You lose to Pitt at this time of the season. You're done.
Even though it's a championship game, but yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I'm with you.
You're out.
I'm with you.
You can't lose to Pitt, just like Ohio State can't lose to Northwestern.
Does it bother you that if you lose in the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season? That means a lot more than if you lose in the first 2 weeks of the season.
It doesn't bother me at all because I want the best teams in the playoff in the college football playoffs. And if you're not playing your best football at the end of the season, I don't want you in there. I want the best team going in. That's why UCF, even if they went out, they're never going to go anywhere. If they had their quarterback who Tim Crumride his leg last week, if he were still around, they're not going to make it in, but that was the only chance they had. Now that he's out, they can win by 150, and they're not getting in anywhere because nobody wants a UCF team in a playoff game without their star quarterback.
That doesn't sit right with me either. I totally understand. I'm big on strength of schedule in every sport, and your conference has a lot to do with that. So I totally understand why UCF has not gotten the opportunity. But at the same time, they haven't lost in 2 years. They haven't lost a game in over 2 years. That bothers me that they don't get a chance if they go in. I mean, now I know, like you just said, it makes a little bit of a difference because they don't have their quarterback. But look, maybe they're...
Who the hell have they played? I have no idea.
Well,
to be honest, I couldn't tell you.
UC was the top 25 when they played them, and they beat them pretty badly. But that's probably their best opponent. But
yeah. Here you go. Ready? Here's your UCF, FIU, Memphis. No idea. Georgia
Memphis
Tech.
is pretty good.
Are they?
Mm-hmm, I'm pretty sure.
That game was postponed. Doesn't matter. They never played.
Oh.
I think that was Hurricane or something.
Don't they play? Isn't that who they play this weekend?
This weekend they play Memphis. Yeah, there you go. So now you get to play Memphis. UC, South Florida, Navy, Temple, East Carolina. Oh, they did play Memphis and beat them by 1 the first time they played them. Okay. So there you go. You only beat Memphis by 1.
Memphis is a good team.
East Carolina, are they good?
I'm pretty sure.
Are they? They're 4-3. So they're not that good.
They only played 7 games.
I don't know. It said 4-3. That must have just been what their record was when I looked at them. No. But anyway, they haven't played anybody. You haven't.
But that's the thing. But you've won every game in front of you.
8-4.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's not good in any standard of. I mean, it gets you to a bowl.
Gets you
to a bowl. You're in a terrible conference. You don't play anybody.
They're
8-4 is not that good.
They're playing for their conference championship.
Yeah, in the American Athletic Conference.
Okay, but if you don't lose, if you are a BCS team and you don't lose any games, no matter what, I mean. So do you eliminate?
So do you think UCF is better than anybody above them? Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama.
Look, probably not, but I don't think it's.
That's all I need to hear. Then I don't want them in there.
But I don't think it's fair to say because they've won every game.
They made it very clear that it's about the best teams getting into this. So that's what it's about.
So, but how do you know they aren't able to compete with those teams?
Because they only beat Memphis by 1. That's how I know.
Okay,
you beat Memphis by 1.
But that was how many weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
Okay. But you still won all of your games. You've won all of your games for 2 years, and you don't get an opportunity to play in the Final Four.
You know what? Hang your banner.
Up.
Make your fake trophy and put it in your locker room. Do all the fun stuff you want to do. Yeah. You're not one of the best teams in the country.
But you don't know that. For them to not get an opportunity to play the best team, they don't. Of course, they're not gonna. Of course, their schedule is gonna stink because
they play in the American.
But
that's what it is.
But you get the opportunity to play against a Clemson, against a Notre Dame at the end of the year in the Final Four because you haven't lost a game in 2 years. I mean, if you get blown out, guess what? Yeah, then you played in the American Conference. And you were good for that. You were good for that conference. You're not good. You're not as good as the teams in the big, whatever, 6 conferences or whatever, 5 conferences.
It's basically 4, right?
It's basically 4. You're right. I don't know. There's something wrong with, especially because it's a 2-year span. Now, last year I get a little bit more. They won all their games.
And they beat everybody up last year. I'm good. Yeah, that's different. This year, I don't think this is as good a team as last year. I'd have been okay with them making it into the playoffs last year. I'm not okay with this team.
Even though they've won 20 whatever straight games.
I don't care about that. I don't care. You're not as good as the top 4, 5, 6 teams that are above you.
How do you know?
I do, because they only beat Memphis by 1. That's how I know.
Okay, but Ohio State got blown out by Purdue.
Yeah, and they beat the brakes. Okay. I guess now I got to go back through UCF's entire season and look. Okay, you beat Navy by 11.
Navy's pretty good too, I think, aren't they?
You let Temple score 40 points.
Temple's really good, I think. I'm pretty sure.
You keep saying all these things.
I mean, look, I don't follow college football closely enough to know what everybody's record is. But I mean, in their conference, for their schedules that they play, yes. And yes, they're not the storied programs. They're not the Notre Dames and the Clemsons and the Alabamas. They aren't. But I just don't think you can win that many games in a row and take care of business every single week and not get an opportunity to play the best teams. They
do. They will get to play some really, really good teams in whatever bowl game they go in. Okay. They'll be in, the some bowl, and they'll get to play somebody really good. They'll probably play like in Oklahoma or Michigan. Good for them. They'll get to play a good team. We'll see how they do then.
Okay. I'm okay with that, but if they won that game, then I have a much bigger problem with them not getting the opportunity to play.
It depends. It depends on who they end up playing. If let's say Georgia loses to Alabama and they knock Georgia down to wherever and they end up playing UCF in a bowl game, okay? And if that were to happen, now you're going up against a Georgia team that could care less about being in that game because they're not in the playoffs. That's all they cared about. They thought they were that's. I don't think that Georgia Bulldog team shows up. So yeah, it depends on. It does depend because yeah, they might be playing better talent at that time, but I don't know if that game is that big a deal to Georgia as it is to UCF.
From what
Georgia's there to get some swag, man. They're there for the bags at these bowl games. Give me my Papa John's pizza, burrito bowl.
So they don't care about the game, but they want a bag that says Papa John's on it.
Nah, man, they got get some sweatsuits and stuff.
From what I've always heard, players that played in bowl games say is you want. As a matter of fact, Tony Pike was talking about this on the radio this morning. You never ever want to lose a bowl game. Finishing your season with a win is a huge deal. And maybe that's just his opinion. I don't know, but I've heard other guys say, you want to win those bowl games, whatever game it ends up being. Yes, Georgia would be considered for them to not play for a national championship because of what their program is to college football. Yes, it will be a disappointment to them, but I don't think they'll go in that. I don't think they would go in that game against UCF and say, okay, we're not going to bring our best effort because we don't really care. We're not playing for national championship. Who cares about this game? And then get embarrassed by UCF, and being embarrassed by UCF might mean losing by 1 point if you're Georgia. But I just don't think they'll go into that to a game like that.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun. Let's find out what happens this championship weekend, and then we'll get to see what comes up.
It's going to be very interesting. Coming up
this weekend is going to be later in December.
As much as I am not as big a college football fan as I am several other sports,
sure.
It really does interest me. I probably won't spend hours in front of the TV watching the games, but I will pay attention and see what happened and listen to what the experts who know what they're talking about, like Desmond Howard and Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Witt, talk about
this guy.
Talk about what it all means and what's going to happen.
Who knows what it means? We'll find out. It'll be interesting.
It'll be a lot more interesting than that conversation we just had about it.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I completely agree. I completely agree with that. So, speaking of hot garbage, clean
garbage.
No, we're the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. He's Adam. I'm Chris. Before we get out of here, I'd like to say that we have a poll currently going on Facebook.
We do.
The poll is currently about who has the worst haircut or has had the worst haircut in the NBA. People that are playing currently.
Among active players.
Minus terrible haircuts.
Joakim Noah.
So, in this, going into that, I will let you know that last week was the start of the Final Four. Elfrid Payton went up against the number 4 seed JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee and the Rat Tail went down.
The triple Rat Tail.
Not as close as I thought it would be. I thought it would be much closer than it was. It was 11-6. 65% went to Elfrid Payton. So now we go to the second game of the Final Four. Adam, I'll let you give us the names.
We have the number 2 seed. By the way, we've done a pretty good job of seeding these things.
100% because
it's gone chalk almost the entire time.
I think we've had one in the ugliest guy in Major League Baseball history. There was only one upset. Other than that, it's pretty much been chalk. So good ups to us. I feel like we should be the NCAA
We should be the
playoff,
selection committee.
we should be the selection committee. You and I should be the selection committee. You'd have UCF 4. Alabama would be 1. I'd be Alabama.
Oh, you're talking about football?
Anything. I'm ready to select it all, dude. I will select the basketball tournament. I will select the football playoffs. I'll do it all. I'm ready to go.
All right. So you have number 2, Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin, which we got a nice little montage. Collage.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Versus the number 3 seed Lonnie Walker the 4th with the floating hat.
Also known as the floating hat. One of my favorites. I got to go Jeremy Lin on this.
I think it's just because he's had
I don't know.
So much versatility with his hair.
Close. This is going to be close. Jeremy Lin, this is going to be close. The floating hat, even the pictures without him with the hat, you guys are going to enjoy it. So get on, vote, tell us what you know. On our T-shirts is the winning logo for the podcast. So we appreciate you guys voting on that.
Yes.
We've got the T-shirts; they're made. Aaron, thank you very much. Let's get out there and we'll send you your shirts if we owe you one, and if you want one, let me know. And we might be able to get you a shirt for a couple bucks. I can't afford giving away shirts anymore, so I've given away a lot of shirts.
Until we get a sponsor to pay us to do this podcast.
I don't think I can give away any more shirts. I was told I cannot give away any more shirts.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll go from there. So besides that, Adam, you got anything else? What else we got going on?
We've got a few quick notes on the NBA.
Yes, let's do the NBA.
I
completely forgot about that.
I can't go a whole show without doing some NBA. We were going to talk about a trade, a trade rumor, or actually a trade proposal that was reported. The Cleveland Cavaliers were going to trade Kyle Korver to the Philadelphia 76ers for Markelle Fultz.
Okay. Yes.
And it was Kyle Korver and a protected first-round pick for Markelle Fultz.
What? Okay, I'll let you go first.
I think I know what you're going to say. So for me, if you're the Sixers organization, you can go two different ways here, two opposite ways.
You can accept it or you can turn it down.
Well,
you're right. You could go. Good, that's good. That's good broadcasting on your side. Good journalism. You have two options at this case.
You can say no,
or you can say yes.
I'm not even talking about the trade. I'm talking about what to do with Markelle Fultz. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He's broken, all right? Now, he can affect the game in other ways. He has zero shot. He can't shoot the basketball.
Have you seen my man shoot free throws? Oh, my gosh. Somebody scored a touchdown in the NFL the other day and had the football in his hands and batted it back and forth and then threw it up. And Markelle Fultz went on and recorded it while he was watching it. And he said that dude, I can't remember, he said something, but he was laughing about it. Good for him.
So, yeah, that's – we could describe his different he's tried a few different styles to shoot free throws because if he can get to the rim and finish at the rim, it's shooting jumpers. But if he can't shoot and he gets to the rim, foul him. Don't let him score at the rim. Foul him, make him shoot.
That's what everybody's
free
doing
throws
now
because he can't shoot it.
If you don't get a lane violation from whatever weird stuff he's doing,
right? Yeah, and they don't call lane violations anyway in the NBA, but they really truly don't.
I know.
But and it drives me insane. But Markelle Fultz, they can either say, okay, we know it's broken. We thought he fixed it by the way, everybody thought he fixed his jumper over the
his whole mind was fixed. Yeah, his whole brain was fixed. Everything was fixed.
He came out and it was okay at first, and then it became not okay very quickly. Again, so he can pass the ball. He can, like I said, he can get to the rim and draw some defenders and find open guys. He can rebound a little bit. He's kind of a small guard, but he can do other things. He could make himself a great defensive player if he wanted to. I feel like and be a great perimeter defender. You can either stay patient with him because even without him, you have a team that is definitely a contender that could come out of the East. Could be in the finals this
100%.
year. Especially after they made the trade for Jimmy Butler. Or you can say, you know what? We've waited a year and a half for this guy. He's broken. Even if he gets back, we don't think he's going to be the player we thought he was going to be when we took him number 1 overall in the draft a couple years ago. Let's see what we can get for him. Obviously, they were considering that. But, so that's what we were going to talk about, was that trade. Instead, Kyle Korver got traded to the Utah Jazz.
I was just going to say. All right. So, but anyway, besides the fact that Kyle Korver got traded to Utah.
What is your feeling about the Markelle Fultz
If
deal?
I am Philadelphia and somebody offers me a first-round pick, protected first-round pick.
Which by the way, I'm not. I meant to look that up. I'm not positive if it's protected. I don't know if that means you just don't get it or you get like a compensatory pick later on or something like that. I'm not positive what happens if that pick that you get in the trade ends up being within the protection. You know what I mean? So if it's protected, if it's top 10 protected, Cleveland's going to have a top 10 pick.
Oh yeah.
And
you don't have to worry about it then.
Then I guess you just don't get that. But that's the big draw there. I mean, if you trade Markelle Fultz or Kyle Korver straight up, basically, I mean, right now that helps you a little bit.
But that doesn't matter.
Run,
Here's the deal. If you're getting a first-round pick in anything for Markelle Fultz, I'm taking that. I'm taking that so fast.
But that's what I mean. If it's protected and it's within the protection.
Say it's a lottery pick. So what is that? 10? Top 10? So maybe so they're saying that you got to get something for it. It can't be I get if they're in the lottery, then they get their pick back and you don't get anything. No, there's got to be something. If you're making that trade, you're getting something for it.
I'm disappointed in myself for not knowing number 1 and not looking it up ahead of time, number 2.
I blame you for going to the Xavier game.
That's what I get for going to the Xavier game.
Go to the Xavier game every time you get a chance.
I will. I just don't want it to be on Wednesdays.
It's okay. It'll be all right. So, anyway, I don't care what it is. If you get anybody and a first-round draft pick, I'm taking that in a heartbeat no matter what. Markelle Fultz is a broken man.
Give up on
I'm done with him. No, there's no point. I'm done. I'm done. There's no reason. If anything, people are just laughing at him. Like, his team's got to be laughing at him. His team has got to be done with him. Can you imagine? I mean, they bring Jimmy Butler in, and Jimmy Butler's balling all over the place. And it's like, all right, how about we sit Fultz down? Let's just give Jimmy all his minutes and spread the rest of his minutes out somewhere else.
Well,
let's get rid of every minute that he plays and find someone else to put in.
That was the thing. They came out this week. They were shopping T.J. McConnell, the backup point guard for the last couple of years, who I think is a really good player. They decided to. They kind of came out and said, we are keeping T.J. McConnell long term. We are going to re-sign him when he comes up as a free agent or whatever. They are committing to T.J. McConnell. To me, that means they're pretty much done with Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Right. And right now, T.J. McConnell is a way better player than Markelle Fultz is. I mean, he just is. Because he can do everything that Markelle Fultz can do and can score just a little bit. He's not a big-time scorer, but he can shoot the ball better than Markelle Fultz can, that's for sure. So he's at least a little bit more dangerous than Markelle Fultz is as a player.
A little bit?
He is. Yeah. I mean, he's not.
I don't know anybody in the NBA that's. I take that back. Markelle Fultz doesn't. The guy is.
He can give you. He can still give you, even though he can't shoot the ball. He can give you 4 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. That's a pretty good game. It's not. You can't be. Here's the problem, though. You can't have him and Ben Simmons on the floor at the same time ever.
No.
Because Ben Simmons can't shoot the ball either. He doesn't have like
Joel Embiid shoots the ball better. I think he actually takes more shots than both of them combined.
He does. But I applaud those guys for not shooting the ball when they can't shoot the ball.
Markelle Fultz is still shooting
though. He's trying because he's trying to get his shot back, but that's going to happen in the offseason again. I'm sorry, it's just going to. I mean, broke. You just have to practice constantly.
He already
and you have to. You're right, and you have to see a sports psychologist. I mean, it's going to take that at least in including the hours and hours in the gym working on your shot.
Right.
Kyle Korver is no longer
Doesn't matter because Kyle Korver is no longer a Cleveland Cavalier.
So I'm very happy for him, by the way, because
yes.
Cleveland's the worst team in the league, and he gets a chance. 37 years old, still has some value because he can still really shoot the ball, still plays his butt off, a better defender than people can probably give him credit for.
Hustles on defense. Hustles on defense.
And he's a smart player. He will not shut you down. He's not a great perimeter defender because he's not a quick guy, but he's a smart player. He knows what he's doing, and he can shoot the lights out still.
Yeah.
That's going to be great for Utah because right now they're struggling. They're, I think, 9-10, 8-10, something like that. And Donovan Mitchell's really struggled.
Yeah.
I mean, he emerged as a star last year, especially in the playoffs.
Second half of the year last year in playoffs, he was huge.
He is struggling badly. He is not shooting the ball well at all. That should open things up for him. If they can have Kyle Korver on the floor with him and spread the floor out a little bit better, he should get better shots. Donovan Mitchell should get some better shots. They're not going to be able to help off of Korver as much as they can help off of most of the other guys. Ricky Rubio has actually made himself into a better shooter, but he's still not a great shooter. He's not somebody you have to – he's not nowhere close to a Kyle Korver or J.J. Redick type of guy.
Sure.
But
he's more of a distributor anyway.
Right. You can play off of him and help and double Donovan Mitchell or just help on him or whatever and make things a lot harder on him. And if you do that, they don't have Gordon Hayward anymore. They have a couple other decent complementary pieces, but they don't have a great shooter or a great scorer besides Donovan Mitchell, which has made it really hard on him and has contributed to why they have a much slower start than that was expected. So I think a pretty good move for Utah. They gave up Alec Burks. Utah's had a logjam at the point guard position for years now. Gave one of those guys up, Alec Burks, and 2 future second-round picks. So they really didn't give up that much for Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver might only help them this year, but I think it's going to be helpful right now. It's still, when you think about it, that should help them, and if they get back to the level they were playing at in the playoffs last year,
they're still going to lose in the playoffs.
They're still going to lose in the playoffs because you have Golden State.
Yep. Yeah, well, you have more than that. You have LeBron. LeBron's in the West now.
You have Golden State.
Aren't they currently in 7th seed right now?
They may be because the Lakers have actually been playing pretty good ball.
Yeah, they have because LeBron.
Because LeBron and
because
the other guys have worked a few things out too. But anyhow,
I guess.
Here I go with coughing again.
My man's dying over here.
I sound like Jake the Snake Roberts. Okay, so the Kyle Korver news, that was kind of the big thing today. Very good. Very good. Right on time with that. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
LeBron James. LeBron James.
Is that the kid or is that your son?
That's my son.
Yes, that's the one I want.
Kid. That is Parker
That's the one
Witt.
I want.
That's Parker Witt.
All right, good. Okay, so really one more big thing today.
What is the other big thing in the NBA?
LeBron James.
The one big thing besides LeBron James.
LeBron James.
See, that one was good. You have
LeBron James. LeBron James.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
So a player who's better than LeBron James, Steph Curry, is did we stop?
It stopped.
Did we stop recording?
It
before
just
all that?
stopped.
It was probably all your LeBron James talk. It was like, nah, I'm done with that.
That's all right. It's still going on Facebook.
Okay.
We're good.
We're on Facebook. Anyhow, so Steph Curry, they announced will be back. He started practicing again. He will be back Saturday.
Nice.
So he's going to miss tomorrow night's game, which, by the way, tomorrow night's game, Golden State Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors, possible
That'll be huge.
finals preview.
Huge.
Possible
huge
finals
game,
preview.
Yeah.
So that one's tomorrow night, Thursday night. Whenever you're listening to this, it might not be tomorrow night. It might be tonight or whatever. Steph Curry will miss that one. That will be his 11th game that he has missed. But he will be back Saturday. He Steve Kerr said that if tomorrow was a playoff game, he could be back for that. He's ready to come back. He's ready to play. I'm really excited because they've been a different team without him. A very
100%.
different team without him.
Yeah, I agree.
And they had the first 4-game losing streak under Steve Kerr in the last 4 years. The first 4-game losing streak for that team. And then they came back and won 3 in a row. But Kevin Durant had to average 49 points in those 3 games or 48, 49 points or whatever in those games to win those games.
And they lost the one that he scored 49 in.
They did. Yes, they did. So he's gone.
Be all right.
I will be all right. He's gone off lately. They kind of got things back to normal, but they're getting Steph back on Saturday. Draymond Green's been out this whole time too. He's still not back. He hasn't even started practicing yet. He's going to miss at least the next 2 games. Once they get both of those guys back and they can start playing again together, I think they're going to be back to being that kind of dominant and get back. They'll work their way back up to the 1 seed probably, I think.
Oh, I guarantee, yeah.
So,
or if not, that might be good for them too. Who cares? They don't care.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. In the playoffs, they're going to be the Golden State Warriors,
and they're going to dominate.
Still the
they're
favorites to win the
until
title.
they play LeBron and the Lakers. It'd be good for them. So,
and then right, and then so the Lakers will beat them, and then according to our man Tyler Roop, Kevin Durant will then join the Lakers next year because according to everybody on the internet, Kevin Durant joins every team that they ever lose to.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's the truth, though.
Nah, I hate that. It's not that. I love the LeBron James. I love Parker doing the LeBron James. I hate that people are still like, if they lose to like the Timberwolves on a Tuesday night, somebody will post like
he's going to the Timberwolves.
Like,
I'm
like,
that's
oh my
dumb. I'm over
gosh,
that. I'm over that.
Also, will you leave Dwight Howard alone? So he dated a transvestite. Who cares?
Hey.
Will you leave the guy alone?
Hey.
Quit doctoring up pictures of a girl with LeBron James' face and saying Dwight Howard's ex-girlfriend or whatever, and putting like a super muscular dude in women's clothing.
Is
and
transvestite the same as transgender?
Oh, did I say yeah, I think so.
Is it?
Is it?
I have no idea. Bro, that's a whole different world for me, man. That's getting into some crazy.
It's not crazy.
Talk about cutting your sling-slanger off and turning it into
if you do the surgery,
JJ and all that.
If you
Ain't
do
that what
the
that
surgery,
is?
well, yeah, but transgender. I think you can just identify as another gender.
Oh,
I think if you.
But I thought it was a transvestite. Isn't that the person that like gets it done? Like that dude.
Is that what makes it a transvestite?
I don't.
You have the surgery?
I have no idea.
I thought it was just like
just a
surgery
dude,
or no
a dude
surgery.
That dresses up like a girl.
Do pre-op and post-op.
So he was dating. He dated. So like multiple times he went out with this.
So there was a.
Can I say it? I didn't mean it
who I
in
believe,
a bad way. I just meant it like I don't know to call it a him or a her.
I believe it was a born as a male.
Felt like
changed himself into a female.
Right, that's the whole point.
And is a female now. And I don't know whether they had the surgery or not. I don't.
I need to know if the goods are there.
I don't know her name.
I need to know how the goods are. I need to know what the goods
I would
are like.
I don't know for sure. I guess I'm sure you can. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna call up Dwight. And be like, yo.
Apparently there was some
twig and berries or no, brother.
Apparently there was some
a lot of duct tape
abuse in the relationship.
Oh,
so she came out and said on Twitter, I think it was, I was afraid to speak up or something like that. But I feel confident enough now. My ex-boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend was an NBA player. Dwight Howard specifically named him.
Wow.
That he had people. He was abusive and he had people beat me up or something like that. Or I don't know all the details to what actually happened.
I need to know how this goes down.
She came out
is
and
this
said,
something where like, because look, if you're gonna fool somebody and go out on a date with them and go to dinner, because there's some of these women.
Boyfriend.
I'm just telling you. That's what I'm saying. People say things though. So here's the deal. So you go out on a date, right? And there's some of these women guys that look like beautiful women, and they're guys.
Yeah.
And if I'm that dude and I'm Dwight Howard and I'm taking this girl out to dinner, we had dinner number one, I'm trying to be a gentleman. I ain't trying to do nothing later on, give a little kiss goodnight, come back the next night or next weekend, have another date. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everything's good. All right, yeah. Third time's a charm. Go to the third date.
You're leading up
and
to
all
the
of
surprise,
a sudden,
right?
you get hanging out, and you're like, "Oh, how about them? About them berries bigger than mine?
How about that, Cobra?
How about that? Yeah,
Damien.
Good night. You're standing stronger than I am, girl.
Oh man.
So at that point in time,
this is going down a bad path.
I'm a little upset. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I have somebody beat her up? Beat him up? I mean, I feel okay saying beat him up in that case. But if it's something different.
She identifies as a woman.
If you're strong and ready to go, and he finds out and you didn't tell him, nah, man. Nah, it might be a girl move, but that's a stone cold man right there.
You called it a strong.
I'm trying to be as good as I can.
As PG-13, I guess.
I got plenty of things. I got plenty of other things I could have
called
it, but
I like calling it a strong now. Oh man, I want to use that a lot.
So anyway, all right,
that's your NBA news.
That's your NBA news.
That's your big three.
We're the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I don't know if any of this will be on SoundCloud or anything,
gosh, man,
but it will be on YouTube because YouTube comes straight off the Facebook Live feed. So if this is even working, because my phone may be dead too, because we're on about. Oh no, it's still going. Right. So there you go. We're the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. T-shirts are out. Coming soon, nosebleedsports.com. Catch us on Facebook. Catch us on Apple Podcast, iTunes, Dwight Howard's man friend. What do you call that?
His ex-girlfriend. It's just his ex-girlfriend.
Do you think he calls it his ex-girlfriend?
I'm
or do
sure
you think he's got other words for it. If it was a surprise, I'm probably going to knock you out.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
If I go down and I get a handful of what I'm playing with, bro, I ain't playing for the other team. I don't want none of that. And you didn't tell
maybe
me.
He is.
If it got
no.
to, if it got to that, it couldn't have got to that point.
No, I don't think that's what happened. I'm pretty sure he knew.
Well, if he knew, then yeah, then you're an asshole for having her beat up.
And like I said, I don't know whether she was pre-op or post-op or had an operation or
doesn't matter
or not. Or
don't beat her. Don't if you knew about it and everything's good, you beat her up, or you had somebody beat her up.
There's no reason to beat anybody up ever.
Terrible. Did you almost beat up the guy next to you at the Xavier game?
No, I didn't even come close.
Good for you. Me neither. All right, so there you are. That's our stuff. Vote on the hair poll in the NBA, and now I feel like we need to find a poll to go with this. All right. Anyway, that's all.
What,
we got.
The Dwight Howard thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We get a little risque.
We gotta be real careful with that, but we'll start thinking about the next poll because this is the other semifinal.
This is it. This is the semifinal.
It's gonna be this week and then the following week.
Next week.
We're done.
Next week is the finals, which will. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but Elfrid Payton is definitely in it, the number 1 seed, continued on. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. He's going to play the winner of the play. He's going to go up against the winner of Jeremy Lin and Lonnie Walker.
There you go. All right. Well, for Adam Schmidt, I am Chris Witt. Do not forget to turn your headlights on.
Please. Did the music hurt your shoulder?
I can't even tell you. Like, there's weird movements that make it hurt.
Oh, man. I feel so bad looking over there, and you're just, like, cringing in pain, and you haven't moved at all.
It's weird movements that make it hurt. I can't even explain it.
We still on?
Yeah.
Yes.